the next scene where June goes back to the house and jumps on top of Luke, I was very disconcerted by this.
Same. That's the exact word I was thinking.
This is pretty much rape, right?
Yeah,
This is rape.
He didn't really have any choice in this.
There was the way I explained it to my kid when I was telling her about the scene was there was no consent. The consent didn't happen because wait is not consent.
No. Yeah.
Wait doesn't mean you put your hand over their mouth so you can't hear them say wait.
Right.
Like the hand over the mouth while he was saying wait was really where I was like, oh, okay, we're this is rape.
And she put his wrist down. She put his wrist down on the bed, and that really fucked me up.
Yep.
Absolutely. Agreed entirely. And for her to do this to anyone when she's been in that same situation, it's a very dilapidated way of her attempting to take some sort of power back over herself, but it's so misguided at best. Yeah. And at worst, it is exactly what it is. It's fucking rape. Because if it's not an enthusiastic yes, then it's a no. And this is nowhere near an enthusiastic yes. It is a wait, no, June, stop.
Yeah.
We heard those words.
I want to say when I rewatched it, there is actually not a no, but don't get me wrong, no doesn't mean anything about consent. But I thought that no, June, stop happened too. But then on my rewatch, I didn't actually hear that.
It was a wait.
Yeah, and then hand over your mouth. Because I think no, June, stop was probably the next words.
Yeah.
I definitely think you and I probably just imagined those because that's probably what would have happened next had he been able to speak.
All I know is that she left Serena's flat, like, on a high. For obvious reasons, I'd be on a high. I was on a high after that scene.
Right.
And I don't get it. I feel like there is something more beyond her just trying to, like reclaim her sexuality and stuff. The way that she the obvious, it's misguided. I guess that's I don't know another, what Roxy said with misguided. I don't know another way to put it. Why would she do this?
That in Gilead we talked a lot about how you can't show your emotions either.
Yeah.
And it's almost like this wave of emotion came over her in a way that she didn't even know how to handle it. It's not like she has a persecution to go to. Like it's almost like all of this trauma in this experience in Gilead was like just bubbled over in this weird way where she was like, there was this weird sexualizing of things happening where, again, like it's more than just her taking back her own sexuality. It was definitely dark and definitely just a high. Like, I don't know what was happening other than a lot of what's happening. Everything we've been seeing through this episode of the fact that she hasn't been able to process any of these experiences and it's all bubbled over and then it explodes with this Serena moment. And it's like, I don't know.
It's a fetish. It's a fetish. Wow, why is this word so hard?
Fetishization.
Yes.
Damn, that's difficult.
God, that's a really hard word. It's a fetishization of an emotional response. So effectively, because June has been immersed in the world of Gilead for the last 7 years, despite the fact that she has had these interactions with Nick, which she is very, very fortunate to have. Like, that's her one tenuous connection to a normal, healthy sexual relationship, even though it started off, like, in a very rapey way. As far as she can tell, like, for the last 7, or as far as we have been afforded the opportunity to tell for the last 7 years, every sexual interaction that she has had, save for her interactions with Nick in their later stages, have been some sort of rape scenario that has been fueled by an emotion. So her fetishization of, like, how to express these emotions stands to perfect reason, because when Fred is angry, he gets kind of rapey. When Fred's in a super happy mood, he calls her down for categories, and, like, they have these sort of flirtatious moments. Or he takes her off to Jezebel's. Like, every time that there's a strong emotional response, to something in the household, it ends up equating with her being raped in some way, shape, or form, even if it is a tenuous connection at best. So for her, after 7 years of this, when she does have something that is intensely emotional happen to her, her only response can be to try to take back that power in the same way that the commander has taken that power back from her, and how she has been forced into this position. So I can understand that like psychological correlation of like she has been constantly put into this subservient position when people that are above her have a strong emotional response to something and they need some sort of outlet for it. It always seems to come back down on her. So again, not rationalizing this, not excusing it by any metric. Rape is rape is rape. And it is always going to be wrong 100% of the time. If you are not enthusiastically yes, it is always a hard no. In this circumstance, I'm trying to explain or discuss how potentially June could have rationalized her rape of Luke in her head.
Yeah. That makes sense.
It's an uncomfortable thought, but...
Yeah, and it works more uncomfortable when the cut is to Happy Family Outside.
Happy Family Outside, but with voiceover from the meeting with Twello going right over it, too.
Yeah, well, it starts for a second.
It's like, it goes back and forth between...
Yeah, but we do get like just a minute of like niceness, or at least, you know, like
normal
the three
family
of
time.
them. Normal family time, although it did have a weirdness to it just because it reminded me so much of all of June's memories that we see, all the flashbacks of Hannah when she's little. And so it's just hard to see like, okay, like it's coming off of that scene where things are definitely not okay. And I was very much just like jarred. And then I'm like, oh, it's like new family of three. And it's all just dilapidated in weird ways, and it's hard to adjust. And I get why June is having a hard time. And then it just gets way worse when the monologue starts.
Oh, God, so much worse. All of this. This is, like, just awful.
She's pathological, almost psychotic. She's toxic. By the way, a consummate actress. And, like, what's her motivation? Hatred. Rage. Underneath that, nothing but pure misery. And she'll do anything not to feel that way, even just for a second. And Marjorie, at the very beginning of this recording, you had said, like, what do we think about that? Like her entire spiel. And it's jarring because it can be seen both as June talking about Serena and June talking about herself.
100%.
So what are they saying? Are they saying that June and Serena really are two sides of the same coin?
I do think that they're saying that. Now, I will say that prior to June raping Luke, because that's what happens here, there could have been an argument for June not being pathological, not being toxic, not being a consummate actress, like all of these other things. But watching June actively abuse someone who she claimed to love, it's hard not to see them as two sides of the same coin, and it's hard not to see them with staggering similarity.
I think that's what they were going for here, was she's doing this monologue, but then it's coinciding with Serena and Fred meeting, and then, you know, June and Luke having this family time. Particularly when she says she will do anything to feel okay, even just for a second. She'll do anything to get what she wants. Lie to you, hurt you, rape you. Camera is on Luke right there.
Yeah.
So if you feel yourself getting sucked in by her, run. Run for your life. I just really feel like this is foreshadowing of what we can expect from June. She might not be there right now, except she did get the rapey part. But, I mean, she is driven by hatred. She is driven by rage. There's what the fuck is inside her right now but pure misery. Like, yeah, she's in Canada and she should, in theory, be happy with this completely surreal experience that she's having. But she is not. She is so broken, and there's so much rebuilding.
Right.
That has to happen. And I think right here, seeds have been planted here for them to possibly dig into the idea of her not being able to acclimate to life in Canada.
Right.
But then what?
Right.
Because we know from Testament stuff that she's going to have a whole ass life of turmoil right up until the end of that book. And this may be premature, but I'm just not feeling positive about her healing journey. Like, I don't know. I think she's right on all counts of her summation about Serena, but I do think they were also talking about her. And I think that we're just going to see her struggle immensely with what she has become.
Yeah. I think every issue that we've seen her face in this episode is only going to get infinitely harder and more complex as we go on with her in Canada. Like, there's just so much there and it is different in terms of her motivations. Like, she hasn't resolved anything. For a lot of these people, this is resolution. They have managed to find a way to move on in some sort of life. And it's not perfect and it's easy. We've seen them all struggle, but June is just on a different level right now. Maybe it's because we are in her head and we keep getting these flashbacks, but like, how do you go through the day when your mind is constantly flashing through everything that she's lived through? Like, it's just gonna take time, and I think that she is still entirely motivated, much like Tolelo, to really make Gilead, the kidnappers, hurt. She's not done.
Yeah.
She's still got work, even in Canada.
And she's doing it to the detriment of her family, who she was fighting so hard to protect in the first place.
I think she feels like her family has already been ruined. I don't know if she thinks it's a detriment to her family, because what family is she? Everyone moved on without her. You know what I mean? She's watching like in the window, and what is there to come back to? Moira and Luke are happily raising Nicole, and Hannah is now trapped in Gilead. You know, like I think that's all of that's playing into the end. I also think it's interesting that the way she's talking about Serena is much like how the Marthas were talking about June.
That's very good point. Oh, I love that.
Yeah, I think that you're absolutely right. Man, the verbiage is pretty much the same.
Yeah, pretty spot the fuck on. So that means that these two it plays even further into these two, but being two sides of the same coin and being incredibly dangerous for each other and to each other.
I mean, her and Serena really are so very similar. Because in the scene that is coinciding with this one, it's Serena and Fred. Serena approaches Fred. Fred, I need you. I mean, who is also a consummate actress, Serena. And Fred rises, and he reminds me of absolute pure evil as he kneels before her to kiss her belly. There was nothing wholesome about this. It felt sinister. And also, Serena here is completely ready to abandon any pretense of being good and doing the right thing, and is willing to lean in again to get what she wants, much like June. Serena, all she has ever wanted was to be a mother, and June, all she has ever wanted was to get her kid back. The two of them together are going to literally light the world on fire to get what they want.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, I love that you put it like that, because that's exactly what I was reading with Serena and Fred in that scene, because you barely get it over the while you're listening to the monologue. But that's what it felt like, that scene in like in a movie where the villain like finally their real power takes root. It's like, up until that point there could have always been a way to turn back. There was still a way, and then it's like, nope, they've leaned in fully, and kaboom, for better or worse, this is who they will be.
Yep.
I can't wait for the next episode. You guys have been dangling this in front of me, and I need to go ahead.
No, it was just me. I'm the only one that's watched it, right?
No. Yeah. I mean, like, just the fact that we were supposed to record last night and then we didn't, and now I was like gonna watch, but then I was like dying, and now I'm like, it is 4:30 in the morning and I don't care because I have to go find out what happens next right now.
Oh, my word. See, I'm going to do the exact opposite. I'm going to wait until the last minute as per the usual. Not because I don't want to and not because I don't have the stamina. I'm going to fall asleep as soon as we're done. But because what if we don't get episodes 9 and 10 early? I just want to extend it. I just want it to be more than 3 weeks. I just want it to be less than 3 weeks, rather, between episodes.
I don't know how you do it. I'm like, there is an hour worth of information that I need to find out about right this second. That's all I need to know. Just tell me more of something. God, it's so good. Gosh, that was such a good ending to an episode.
It really was. And like, I can't wait to see what they do with it from here. I can't wait to see like how June's character devolves from this moral high ground, because this is absolutely her stumbling point. And I can't wait to see, like, I feel like this next episode coming up is going to show us like how Serena and Fred start to pool their forces together, and we're going to start to see some of like those spoiler pictures that we got to see of the two of them together, and Serena showing off her baby bump in full like wives regalia, and Scarlett can't say anything because she's already watched ahead, so she has to just like sit silently as we are full of conjecture. I can't wait is what it comes down to.
Yes, and it's called testimony, right? Or testimony.
I think it's testify.
I think it's called testify. And it is, the only picture we have is that picture, like what the fuck am I trying to say? The picture on the screeners before you hit play is the picture that we've seen from the trailers of June testifying in some fashion. And so I am just dying to see this play out because I want to know like who's being charged with what are defenses, what's happening. I need to know where Tuello's standing like in the room, because he's not the lawyer, but he's obviously going to be there because he's fucking Tuello. So like, yeah. I just need more information on him and what's going on with him, and like, is Billy okay? Is anyone thinking about Billy? June, while you testify, because this is good. Whatever she says here is going to be news. Yeah, this is like national, I'm assuming, news. So global news.
Unless it's a closed
I don't know how all of that will work. But all I'm saying is whatever this testimony is that she's going to give, some of it is going to have to get back to Gilead. It just must, right? Yeah, and when it does, who's going to see the fallout from that? We got Larry on the council, and this faithless woman is now off in Canada and very happy to tell them all about how she got there. So does his name come up? Like,
almost certainly, but the ramifications are going to be magnanimous.
Gosh, I just can't wait.
It's going to be scintillating to watch the next 3 episodes. Can't wait for it.
Yeah. So, all right. Until then.
Yeah, we're done here.
We hope you join us soon. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.